Best of r/entitled parents episode 105. Subscribe for Reddit videos daily. So for some background, I work in retail chain. Most of the time I work behind the till, mostly for 8 hours at a time. Now recently the government has been cracking down on items, knives, cigarettes, lighters etc. being sold to people underage. In our store, it is company policy to ask for it on these said items if they look underage. Side note, if it was found out that I had sold an item to an underage person, I would lose my job and have an investigation done by the police, looking at a criminal record if they found reason. I am not losing my job over lighters. I am still in school and need the money. Me. EP. Entitled parent. So to the entitlement. It was a regular day in the store. The tills were extremely busy and the store was making big bucks. It was around Christmas. So a customer had just finished paying and was leaving while I called for the next customer. This typical looking adult wannabe teen girl came up to my till with a few things and set them down on the conveyor belt. I began scanning her things and then I scanned the lighters. The way our system works is that when something is scanned that needs it, the screen goes red and informs me that the customer needs to produce it, even gives you the date they should be born to be of age to buy the item. So I keep scanning the rest of her items. Company policy, in case there's any more ID'd goods. I get to the end of her items and then the conversation begins. Excuse me ma'am, do you have any ID on you? EP, what do I need it for? It's for the lighters, they're age restricted. If you have it with you I can check it on the system and you can purchase them. EP, well I don't have any ID on me. Can you just not let it go? I'm over 18. Context. This woman had so much makeup on that I really couldn't tell what age she was, but to me she didn't seem old enough. Sorry ma'am, I need to verify your age to make the purchase. By this stage my till had a big line and the whole situation was starting to become a big scene. This is where it starts to get interesting. EP, I'm over 18. Let me take my lighters. No ID, no lighters. EP, you've already scanned it through. You can't take something out that has already been scanned. Never tell a cashier what they can and can't do. I looked back at my computer. The woman at this point smirks, thinking she's won. I turn the computer around to face her, look her dead in the eye as I click the big red button that says no ID and the lighters disappear from the list. Her mouth drops and her face goes red. I then, in my best retail voice ask, will you be paying cash or card? The woman explodes and shouts at me with a lot of swearing, not even gonna dignify what she said. One thing she said was, EP, my son, will not have any lighters now. I hope you're happy. With that she left without all her items and her lighters. I told my manager after and he said I was doing my job so I'm not in the wrong. But this is not the end. On my next shift I get called into the manager's office and I'm told that this woman complained to the head office of the retail chain about me. Told them I verbally abused her and that she was seriously offended and wants to get the police involved. Turns out the woman was 20 so she could have bought the lighters if she had brought it. My manager tells me all of this smiling but he still has the biggest bombshell to drop. After he received the phone call from head of office, they asked for the CCTV footage. My manager watched over the footage and heard everything, and I mean everything. Her last line before she left was of particular interest. It turned out this woman did have a son, but her son was most certainly not 18. So to cut a long story short, this woman is under investigation by the police for child abuse and if found guilty is looking at jail time. For future reference, bring your ID everywhere you go. Thank you. Next. As seen in my last post I had an injury whilst playing football, soccer, which kept me from playing for 2 years. So now I don't need to wear my knee brace anymore, but for safety I do still wear it just in case because it's better to be safe than sorry. But other players do target me but not my bad leg, they just try to test my strength shoulder to shoulder. And the first part of this story happened 3 weeks ago in a league game and the second part happened earlier today in a cup game. But this is the first time I've heard this happen, so now into the cast end story. Cast, referee, ED, the dad, the other team's manager, ES, the fact that he did target my knee, he's a ES, me, B, furry, footballer, gamer, 16, OP, BF, My new favorite person in the world, also my best friend. Tyler, my teammate and a good mate. Manager. Now into the story. When we were warming up, when the manager of the other team, who was also the dad of one of the kids, told my manager, said that I shouldn't play if the manager didn't want me to get hurt because he'd told his kid to target me. I was told this by my manager. The game hadn't even started and I was pissed, not scared. The game was about 15 minutes in when I decided to run with the ball. As I went past one player, another player from the other team volleyed me in the knee. Also, surprise surprise, it was ES. I fell to the floor screaming in pain, holding my knee. It fucking hurt. When ES said, "ES, shouldn't have played or worn the knee brace, fucking idiot." The ref had blew the whistle and a big crowd had formed around me when Tyler pulled me to the side of the pitch so I didn't get trampled on, and my BF sat and comforted me as I was still in complete agony. The referee had got the crowd back down and gave the kid a red card and sent him off. The game had been restarted. When my manager and the physios came over, the manager seen if I was okay. While the physios were making sure my knee wasn't out of place, it wasn't thanks to the knee brace keeping it in place, and said that the knee should be fine, so if I wanted I could be subbed off and watch the rest of the game. I agreed and sat out the rest of the game talking to my BF, sat with me and kept comforted me. When the game had ended, we went up to shake hands, the other team. When it came to ES, I refused to shake his hand. I wonder why. When he pushed me and retaliated, may or may not have forgot that my knee was still sore. Whoops. Tyler pulled me away again, not wanting a big fight happening again, but you all know this is not the end of the story. Earlier today we played this team again at a cup game at the second round of the cup, and the teams were the same. My manager started me on the bench just to be safe, but me being one of the key players in the team, I got subbed on at halftime. It got to about 20 minutes into the half when ES started targeting my knee. Not surprised at all. I had got past the ES as he trips me, giving away a free kick. ES, stay down. 23, my number. I don't want to hurt you again. Me getting up. Shut up mate, you won't get fucking near me, I am too good. Yes, I was being cocky, but I was also pissed. ES, laughs. I just need to hit you, don't need to get close. I had enough and decided the next he got the ball I was gonna go for him. And about 5 minutes later it happened, he got it and ran past me when I took him out, giving away a foul and receiving a yellow card. I walk past the ES. Me, stay down. Number 8. ES, shut the fuck up, I'll hit you again. Me, try and get close then. My manager, sensing some tension, called a timeout. I forgot to mention that this cup tournament had timeouts, one per team. I don't know why, it's the first time I've heard of this. And got the assistant manager to give a team talk as the manager pulled me aside. STTT Tanj, I need you to be careful. I don't want you getting sent off because I have a feeling this game is going to go to pens and I need you. Me, I can't promise that he's targeting me. You're good enough to not get hit, just don't go and get sent off please. Me, okay, I'll try. Good. Is your knee feeling good? Me, yeah, but can you get the physios to look at it? I just want to be safe. Yeah, defo. Calls over the physios and they check on me when my BF runs over. BF, are you okay? Me, yeah, don't worry, I am just being safe. BF, are you sure? I don't want you getting injured again. Me, I know babe, but trust me, I am okay. BF, okay, I want you to score though. Me, I'll try. The physios finish checking my knee and say all is good as the timeout ends and we go back on and continue playing. When not even 5 minutes later I go past ES and he wipes me out. ES, told you I would get you. Me, wasn't good enough, better try again. We continue playing and like 10 minutes later he finally gets his wish and tackles me with a high foot at my knee and deja vu kicks and I fall holding my knee. ES, told you I'd get you. Me in pain. Dirty fucking prick man. ES, fuck you, say poof. Me getting up, you are a dirty fucking prick. ES pushes me and I retaliate. Me, seriously, you want to go there? ES, shut up poofter. Me, what you say? Teams surround us to trying to move us away from each other. ES, I called you a poof. Tyler hearing this pulls me away, yet I likes doing that. The ref got everything sorted out and gave ES a red card for the challenge and talked to me, giving me a final warning. We ended up winning that game and I refuse the handshake again. I think I may have started a team rivalry. Thank you. Next. Background. My mother is a manipulative woman who focused more on her own happiness rather than me and my little brother. Whilst she did do her best to take care of me and my brother, she would constantly tell me and my bro that our father didn't care about us and didn't even pay child support. She also blamed us for her constant breakups and would degrade us for doing things she didn't like, although to be fair some things were reasonable. I believed every word my mother would say, to the point where I even told my dad that he was a terrible man and that I wanted nothing to do with him, but deep down I always idolized him. Now I was diagnosed Asperger's syndrome and I struggle socially and mentally. Keep that in mind. My mother had this strange notion that if one bad thing happens to her then she has to move to a different town to make herself happy. Now this alone damaged my psyche and I suffered serious mental illness for a good solid 5 years. In that time I tried to take my own life 3 times and took up self-harm. When I was 15 I learned that most of what she had been saying were lies that she told to manipulate me and my brother into doing her bidding. I learned that she put my father in a bad amount of debt due to child support and she would often keep me away from my father without my knowledge. When I was 16 I left to live with my dad and it's because of him my life is going in some kind of direction. Now I'm a DJ and I have gotten through my depression and am no longer feeling suicidal thoughts. I even have a tattoo to symbolize how there is always hope to get out. The worst part of this is that she is still doing this to my brother and he, being the mama's boy that he is believing every word and it's killing me. Thank you. Next. This happened this evening. My mother, little brother and sister, 7 and 8, and very well behaved might I add, and me, F16, oldest sister, were at a restaurant. Dad stayed home because of a cold. A little bit after we sat down to eat my little brother said he needed to use the restroom. Dad wasn't there to take him to the boys' room like he usually would, but I also needed to go so I said I'll take him. Mom said that was fine. My mom has taken all of us to the bathroom before with no problem, so why should we worry? So, I took him to the bathroom. It was a rather busy place but the bathroom was less busy it seemed. All the stalls were took. Great. My little bro was dancing around being a bit impatient but wasn't causing any trouble. Then finally, a stall opened. It was a large stall. Out came 1 kid, 2 kids, 3 kids, 4 kids, 5 total little girls who all looked like under 6. They all seemed reasonably behaved. Then the woman of the hour came out. She didn't look like a stereotypical Karen, more like a stereotypical MLM hun if anything. She had long curly blonde hair, had horribly mismatched LuLaRoe all over her, and reeked of essential oils. I smiled at her and told my brother he could go. He ran over to the stall until Karen looked down at him and gasped. I smelled trouble. Then she suddenly grabbed the collar of his shirt and said you can't be here. My brother looked absolutely shocked. Jay, help me. My big sister instincts kicked in immediately. I immediately confronted her, in a slightly mocking tone. Excuse me? My brother needs to use the restroom. Get your smelly hands off my brother right this second before I call security on you. Karen glared at me. No, he's a boy. He cannot be an HREE. He's scaring my daughters. He might hurt them. The daughters were calmly talking to each other and giggling around. One of them even said cool shirt. Batman is cool so no, they don't look scared at all. I restrained an eye roll and then said in a firmer voice, Mom, my brother is a child. He's 8. He just needs to use the restroom. He has no reason to hurt or scare your daughters. He's a kid needing to pee. Again, let go of him. Now. No. He is a boy and he needs to leave. Boys can't be in here, this is a girl's room. Make him go to the boys' bathroom. I order you so as I am older than you. I give out a large exasperated sigh. Look lady, small children can go into the restroom regardless of their gender if they are accompanied by their mother, or in this case older sister. There is nothing wrong with moms bringing their young sons into the restroom if they need to go. They can't just let a young kid go into a men's room unaccompanied, and in this situation I am his guardian, not you. I then step closer and gently but firmly grasp her wrist and lift her grip off of my brother's shirt collar, as at this point he was starting to cry and I know he was extremely scared. Hell, I was scared of her too. I asked him if he was okay and then he hid behind me. Karen let out a weird gasp, why squeal kinda thing. IDK, it sounded like a cat getting its tail stepped on. Don't touch me. get the staff to throw you out, bitch. Now this time I did a very obvious eye roll. Don't touch my brother then. And woo, swearing like that in front of your kids? Have fun with all 5 of your sweet little girls repeating that to no end. Karen gave me an immense death glare, muttered something under her breath and then caroled her kids out the door. Finally, she's gone. My brother gets done and I give him a big hug, and then we skedaddle the heck back to our mom to tell her what just happened. I thankfully didn't see Karen again, but still, oof, I never expected to encounter a real-life entitled parent. I've just lurked this sub thinking lol, I'll never encounter a Karen. Apostrophe. I was wrong lmayo. TL. Doctor, my little brother needed to pee so I took him to the bathroom, but an entitled parent grabbed his shirt and refused to let go, because boys can't be in here. He's a little kid. Thank you. Next. So this is a post about my entitled aunt. She has featured in other of my post. https://www.reddit.com/r/entitledparents/comments/f8hdt2/ give me your money/ UTM medium equals Android app and UTM source equals share. So after the post that is in the link above, my aunt phone called me, and this happened during and after the phone call. Cast me as M/E. Friend 1 as F1. Friend 2 as F2. Entitled aunt as EA. Entitled cousin as EC. Uncle as U. New character. Security guard as SG. Let's begin. Phone starts ringing. I pick up thinking is one of my friends. EA. Is this your phone number? Me. Hi aunt, what do you need? EA. Can you watch EC for a couple of hours today? Yeah, because cursing me and trying to rob 2 days before this is normal. Me. No, I can't, I have plans already, and also you and your kid were assholes to me the other day. I hang up. Half an hour later she comes and knocks at my door demanding me to let you in. Me. If you don't leave I am calling the cops. I have a security camera that recorded everything. The banging stopped and I heard you running down the stairs. Fast forward a couple hours, I am walking into the cinema with my friends. F1, so what movie are we seeing? Me. Recently released movie. F1, okay that sounds good. F2, hey isn't that your aunt? F2 knows my family. Me. Fuck, she followed me. EC, he is there mom, he is there. EA, you fucker, why didn't you simply took him with you to the movies? Me. Go fuck yourself and leave me alone you bitch, I am not going to expend my money in the asshole of a son you have. EA, buy EC a ticket right now you idiot, buy him a ticket or else. Me. F1 go to search security. F2, I know she was a bitch but this is a lot even for she. SG and F1 appear. Me. Thanks to God you are here, this woman has been following me and demanding a ticket for her son. SG, is that true madam? EA, he stole my money and I want it back. F1, you should check the security footage first. EA turns white and tries to attack SG. SG takes out a taser and tases EA. Me and my friend enter to see the movie. Fast forward 2 hours 40 minutes. Phone ringing, I pick up. Me. Hello? You. Hi, is me you. I wanted to say sorry for what your aunt did. Me. Oh hi you, no problem, I think that security did their job there. You. Yeah, she got banned from there. Me. Well, not to sound mean but she deserved that. You. Yes she did. Bye. Me. Bye. TLDR. Entitled aunt wants me to babysit my cousin and when I say no she proceed to follow me and make a scandal in a mall. Thank you. Next. Hi everyone. It's my first time posting here but I've been following this subreddit for quite a while now, even before creating my own account. You can obviously find the TLDR at the end. So, just to set up the background, this took place 3 years ago, while I was an after-school staff in my hometown in France, in the same school I used to go when I was young. The community in the neighborhood is mixed, with various incomes, origins and religions, and I'm well known there because of my work at the local pool, within the two schools literally facing each other on both sides of the street, and an overall kind and positive attitude. Not trying to praise myself there, it's just a thing many people told me. But that also means that the kids know me and my slight reluctance to harshly lecture them whenever they would do some stupid shit. Which gave me lots of problems with some of them, like those 2 girls who heard I did not speak Arabic and then proceeded to call me pig in this language, which, unfortunately for them, was the only word I knew, so yeah, they screwed up a lot that time. But this is not the main subject here. You want to read something about an entitled parent, don't you? Well, here goes. As usual, right after the bell rang, I would gather the pupils staying for those extracurricular activities in the hall while the others would go out. The ones leaving would pass next to the windows located behind the benches. I asked those staying to group up while I was doing the roll call, so sometimes they would open them up and chat a bit with their buddies. I just had to call them out and things would then all be fine and dandy. One day though, I saw a kid I was taking care of, let's call him EB, entitled boy, he's 10 by the way, talk with his friend through the open window, then back up his head a bit while snorting loudly, and I knew exactly what this little moron was about to do, so I intervened. Me, EB, don't you dare spit on your friend. EB turns his head to look me dead in the eyes. Me, don't do it, I warned you. EB stares at me for a few seconds, smirks, then turns back and spit out a disgusting glare in his friend's direction. Just to clarify things up, this EB had been a severe pain in my ass for almost 2 years while I worked in this school, so yeah, you could imagine I was a tad angry when he did not listen for the nth time. My emotions took control and I walked to him, delivering him a slap on the back of his head. I was 21 at the time. I'm a large man with quite a bit of power, but since I work with children, I know how to restrain it. The slap I gave him was more like the kind Gibbs from the TV show NCIS would give to his agents. A slap to call out people whenever they would act stupidly, rather than a real one that could have potentially hurt him way more. But still, I didn't have the right to do so. Of course, following this, EB turns back holding the back of his head like I had delivered the mightiest blow I could to him. All the kids start shouting stuff like, "Oh, you hit him, you can't do that," and this conversation ensued. EB, you hit me, you're gonna get fired. Me, not being able to speak because of the noise. Silence. Everyone shut up, they're not used to me using this big booming voice. Me, facing EB, I told you to not spit on your friend, didn't I? EB, you hit me, I'm gonna tell everyone and you're gonna get fired because you don't have the right to do that. Me, crouching to get to his level. Listen, I know I can't do that, but I told you twice what you didn't have the right to do and yet, you did it. So I'm ready to apologize, but you'll have to do the same toward your friend you spat on. I thought to myself, when we ended this discussion, the case was closed. But back then, I didn't know who I just slapped because I have a really bad memory when it comes to peoples and faces. The entitled mother, or EM, was my direct upstairs neighbor and she was a freaking nut job. We always had a few strange neighbors since this was a rental, but, oh man, she did hold a candle to all those that preceded her and her 3 kids. I was not home when she came, so she picked on the first person she could find. That is my mother. She yelled I didn't have the right to do so. Same old stuff. That her son had a bruise on his head, then a bump, then a concussion. They had to take him to the hospital cause his head was shaking and hurting quite a lot, etc. When I finally met her in the stairs, 1 month later, she told me the exact same things, hovering as always, so I reiterated my apologies, told her of the whole situation and why I did this, and, surprisingly, she seemed to understand a bit. So finally, the case was closed. During the following year she lived in the rental. She did everything she could to bother my family, put the music volume on max, calling the cops on us because we asked her to turn it down during her daughter's birthday, and apparently, my father banging loudly on her door frightened the kids invited to the party, insulting my mother because she dared speak during a conversation between my dad and EM's ex-husband, etc. The icing on the cake, and the last time I heard of her, she went to her daughter's preschool because she repeatedly hit others' kids and EM headbutted so hard her daughter's teacher she broke her nose and sent her to the hospital, then went to the police station 3 days later to make a complaint about how she had to defend herself. She went straight to detention that day and it was a serious relief for the whole neighborhood. To conclude, I wouldn't say she was the worst EP you could find. There's some stuff I read on this sub that are way worse than this, but she was quite bothersome for a long period of time. Sorry for the long post. I would have put a potato right there if we were on another website, but instead, here's the TLDR. TLDR. EM has been quite a nuisance to my family since I hit her child, who continuously disrespected my orders and advices and did the same for everyone who dared criticize her kids. Thank you. Next. My so and I had some problems with our neighbors since they moved in. We live in an apartment complex with super thin walls, so we can constantly hear our neighbors, who seem to be in their flat with up to 10 ppl all the time. They've kept us awake at night with loud talking and celebrating, especially last year around Ramadan, when they apparently invited their entire family every night to feast and shout at each other until the early morning. On top of this, they play music really loudly every single day for 2-3 hours around noon and always make sure to open their window, so the entire neighborhood has to listen to the terrible auto-tune pop music. My so often has to study and write term papers at the moment, so this behavior is already very annoying during the week. However, today they did this again. We have quiet hours where I live between 12 and 3, and basically the entire Sunday is supposed to be quiet anyway. Naturally they started blasting their music around 1 p.m. and my so first pounded on the wall and then went to our window to shout at them. That's when the mother stuck her head out of the window and screeched at him to stop bothering her family, saying, "You're always pounding on our walls and scaring my kid. Stop it. If you keep scaring my kid, I will call the cops." My so encouraged her to do that, because obviously they would side with us, especially because they, the police, must still have a record of us calling them the police, when we heard the father slapping and shouting at his kid, to which he slammed the window. She kept screaming like a banshee in her apartment, but at least she turned the music down. I still can't believe she would blame us for scaring her kid, especially since she and her husband are literally hitting him. Ridiculous person. Edit. We once heard the father and mother shouting at the kid and then heard slapping noises and the kid screaming. Then they slapped the kid again. We called the police that evening. The police did nothing. Haven't heard anything like that since. Just wanted to clarify.